Hello, everyone, and welcome back. As always, I am your girl, Candy Washington, and we are going to have a fun and quick kiki on the latest shenanigans from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills that transpired over the weekend. So happy Monday, everyone. But before we dive in, be sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell. It really helps out. And share this with a friend because a kiki is always better with community. So with that, let's dive into some quick updates on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Botgate. All right, you guys, so let's get into it. So the latest is, of course, we all know the background story, which is, I'll say allegedly, even though it's been proven that it was bots who were attacking Garcelle's young minor child who's 14 years old. They were posting, abusive and racist and just really mean, threatening comments on Garcelle's son's Instagram account to the point where he actually had to then go private. So we all know that happened. That's the backstory. Then, in case you missed it, I did a live on a guy named Patrick Summers who has a history with Lisa Rinna coming out and being like, she hired my company to do it. We didn't know she was going to say racist things. We knew it was going to be negative. We didn't know it was going to be racist, but it was her publicist hired us, and I just want to distance myself from the racism and from attacking a child. So that's kind of the background story, but let's talk about what happened over the weekend, which again, we're going to say allegedly, but it is seemingly pointing to the fact that Lisa Rinna really was behind this. Hey, Barbara, how are you? She says, horrible, I know. Hey, Candy Canes. Good morning, Darren Hood. Darren says, hey, and he's dropping a candy cane. Yes, so let's dive into the latest updates. So Erika Jayne and Diana Jenkins both came out with statements denying that they were involved with buying the bots. They made their statements. They came out, we would never do this. We don't condone this, blah, 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 blah. Now, in my personal opinion, I think, and again, this is alleged, just based on everything going on. I'm not saying it's fact, because again, we don't have concrete proof either way. We don't have concrete proof it was them, and we don't have concrete proof that it wasn't them, particularly with Patrick coming out. And again, I did a whole deep dive on why to believe Patrick and also why not to believe Patrick. So I think the jury is still out there. But what I will say is this. I think that hypothetically, if it comes out that Lisa Rinna really was behind this, I think all three of them were involved in the sense of Erika and Diana knew what Lisa Rinna was doing, or they knew what she was going to do, and they did not stop her. They probably laughed and co-signed it. And then Rinna was the one who actually, pulled the trigger and actually did it. But do I think that if it turns out to, because again, we don't know 100%, so this is all just conjecture. I want to be very clear if it's all alleged. I'm just looking at all aspects of it. But if it does come out that Rinna was behind it, I don't think she did it on her own in the sense of she didn't talk about it. She didn't tell anyone. I'm sure the three of them got together. They were probably talking smack. They went to Hawaii together, all of that stuff, and they came up with some type of plan to execute it. So that's sort of what's going on with Erika and Diana. Now, let's talk about why Lisa Rinna's behavior now is leaning more towards looking like she really is guilty. Again, we don't know 100%, but just based on her behavior. Number one, if someone came out, I'm talking about Patrick, and was like, Candy bought these bots to attack a child and all this stuff, and I had nothing to do with it, my first call would be to my lawyer and being like, we need a cease and desist. We need to shut this guy down. We need to threaten to sue him. He's lying on me. This is horrible what he's saying. I would really be going after him on the offensive, because she's being accused of is illegal. It's horrible. Threatening a minor, racist rhetoric, all of that stuff. So if I really had nothing to do with it, I'm going after my accuser in a real way, not just an Instagram story. not just an Instagram post. I'm really going after my accuser in a real way because that's a pretty serious accusation. You see what I'm saying? So, and then Rinna also is deflecting, 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 deflecting. And I'm not saying that I believe Patrick 100% because I also kind of squint and think he might be a little shady. He might be clout chasing. He might be inflating stuff. So I'm not just saying like, oh, I just believe Patrick, because I don't. I'm going to wait for concrete evidence, like irrefutable proof. I'm not saying either person is 100% telling the truth here. But let's look at also what Rinna is doing. She's blaming production and Lisa Vanderpump. She's like, oh, isn't it crazy now that all these bot stories are coming out? Isn't it crazy that they're saying I bought the bots? All of a sudden, now that we have a new producer, and that producer used to work for Vanderpump Rules. Rinna, no producer at Bravo bought these bots to create a story to take you down. That just literally makes zero sense. And honestly, I'm confused as to why Bravo isn't stepping out and being like, our employee is accusing us of orchestrating a racist attack on a minor. Like, how come Bravo is not checking their employee? Andy Bravo, you checked Rinna for, shading the girls of the Real Housewives of Dubai, but you're completely silent when she is accusing you, because if she's accusing production, she's accusing you of manipulating and orchestrating a racist and threatening attack on a child, but yet Bravo has remained mum. They just did that weird Instagram post being like, blaming the fans, which to me is a big mistake on Bravo's part. I don't know why you're blaming us for all of this. Like, you don't want to alienate your constituents. Like, without us, you don't exist, Bravo. You have no viewership, you have no sponsors, you have no ads. Like, so to come out and try and blame us, being like, oh, fans, calm down, don't attack our cast. I don't know what's going on over at Bravo PR, but they really need to step it up and get some insights going, because it's really bizarre and weird and crazy to me, everything that's going on with them. So there's that. And then Rinna is also blaming Kathy Hilton, being like, oh, isn't it a coincidence that, the Aspen episodes are coming out, and now that the Aspen episodes are coming out, now all of a sudden the bots are coming and all of this stuff. This is the thing, Rinna. If Kathy Hilton was going to get you, she would have got you way before now. The Aspen episodes isn't new. That's not new news. We've been talking about Aspen before the show even aired. So your timeline doesn't make sense. If Kathy Hilton was going to waste her money on you, which I highly doubt, she doesn't even waste her breath on you, Rinna, to be perfectly honest, she would have done it way before now. Way before now. Particularly back in June, when the same Patrick Summers guy came out and said you were paying him to do a fake smear campaign against Kathy so you could have a storyline. So that doesn't make sense. So to me, Rinna is acting like someone who's guilty. She's acting like someone who's guilty. She's blaming everybody, not taking any accountability, and is losing her mind, but not actually taking any real tangible action against the person who's accusing her of orchestrating a horrible attack on a child. You defend yourself in Instagram stories? That makes no sense. I don't have the means that Rinna has, but if someone was saying I did an attack on a child, the first person I would call would be a lawyer, not Instagram. So I really think that Rinna is just spiraling. I think she thought it wouldn't blow back on her. I think that Erika and Diana are trying to distance themselves by coming out and being like, we weren't the ones who did it. We didn't do it. But did you know about it? And do nothing. Because I just don't think Rinna did this by herself. She may have been the one to tap Patrick. If it comes out again, I'm just saying if, we're just talking about if scenarios. I think that Erika and Diana knew. I just don't think that Erika and Diana had nothing to do with it. You see what I'm saying? It's again, like I said before, if you and your friends go out to dinner and it's three of you, one person pays for the check, everybody still ate. So even though it may have been Rinna or Rinna's publicist allegedly, they all knew. They were all in cahoots, you know what I'm saying? And now they're trying to come out and deny it. Now let's get to, like Barbara said, let's get to Dirty Diana. Now also Diana behavior is very telling and bizarre. So now she's coming out being like, oh, I had to, hire 24/7 security after all of this. I'm so scared for my safety. I'm getting threats. You know what, Diana? The only people who are threatening you, Diana, are maybe the victims of your alleged sex trafficking. Maybe their family members, maybe the victims, maybe the people that you've defrauded. Maybe those people are coming after you. Now that it's in the spotlight, now that you know. I don't think Bravo fans are coming after you, Diana. Maybe it's the victims. Maybe it's the victims' family and loved ones of all of the people that you allegedly sex trafficked. Maybe that's why you have 24/7 security. Maybe that's why you're so scared. And I don't think it has anything to do with Instagram bots. I don't think it has anything to do with Bravo fans while you have 24/7 security. You also probably have 24/7 security because you're worried about your clients coming after you because they don't want their secrets coming out. Right? If you are, allegedly in this cahoots business with these rich and powerful people, the first thing, when a secret is about to be exposed, the first thing the rich and powerful do is eliminate what? The middleman. Because the middleman is the one who knows the secrets. The middleman is the one who has, recordings and receipts and whatever else. Diana, you're the middleman. That's why you have security, because you don't want to be Jeffrey Epstein found all of a sudden, even though he's under 24, even though he's in a prison cell in solitary confinement, but somehow none of the prison guards were able to help to save him. You don't want to be Jeffrey Epstein, do you? So miss me with the lies, Diana. We see through you. You don't have security because you're worried about Garcelle's fans coming after you. You have security because you're worried about your clients silencing you. They don't want this smoke. They don't want this publicity. They don't want, people being like, oh, were you ever pictured with her? Are you in her little black book? Are you this? Are you that? Blah, blah, blah. That is who Diana is actually scared of, because for as much money as Diana has, her clients have more. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's really who she's scared of. Hey, everybody. Hey, who's that? Hey, Candy and everyone. Hey, sweetheart. Hey, Barbara. She's laughing. Right? So, like, that's what the real tea is. That's who she's really scared of. But let's talk about some other quick updates. So, allegedly, Cherie, flip-flopper of the year, allegedly, Bravo is coming out and saying that Cherie is not performing well with the Black community and the Black audience, like she's not testing well, and especially her response on social media. Well, duh. I don't think Cherie is testing well with anybody, because this is the thing. Garcelle is beloved across all communities. And also, we don't like the fact that she really was not being loyal to Garcelle and flip-flopping. And it's one thing to, maybe not be Garcelle's sidekick, but it's another thing to show your disloyalty, particularly to a group of women who don't really check for you, who don't have your back, who is really being despised by the nation. It just doesn't make sense, Cherie, that you're hitching your horse to these women. It just doesn't make any sense. So of course you're not trending well. Of course you're not testing well, because you made the wrong choice. You made the wrong choice going after Sutton and then going after Garcelle, the person who got you on the show, who got you the friend of position. Like, that's just dirty. And nobody wants Cherie to be the new villain, because in order to be a successful villain, like a Kenya or something like that, there still has to be a likability to you. We have to love to hate you. We can't just hate you. And I don't think that there's any love when it comes to Cherie. There's no love when it comes to Diana with her stupid line, "I need a new villain, I'm her." No, you're not her. Like, there's no likability. That's the problem. Nobody likes these people. Hey everybody. Hey Gloria. Just hello, Candy in chat. Hope everyone had a wonderful day. Yes, I hope everybody has a wonderful day. Hey Barbara. There's probably some very powerful names in her little black book. Exactly. And I think that's more of who she's scared of. I don't think she's worried about us YouTubers. I think she's worried about, you know, the families and the victims and her clients coming after her because they don't want their business out there. Hey, who said Kate? Yep, Diana needs to be worried about ex-clients and the families of victims she trafficked, allegedly. Exactly. That's who she's scared of. We're not coming after you, Diana. Like, we don't want to be around you. Hey, Darren Hood, Cherie's a snake. Exactly, and that's why she's not trending well. Hey, Barbara, don't get me smart on this one. Backstabbing Garcelle. Like, the fact that Cherie wished Diana a happy birthday during this whole situation, I was like, Cherie, you are nasty. And I love how Sutton and Garcelle both unfollowed Diana on Instagram. I was like, that is the way to do it. You better work it. Love it. Hey, Bravo, Cherie was telling the press how honest Erika is. Cherie, what do they have on you, girl? Are you in the book? Is Will Smith in the book? Like, what do they have on you, Cherie? I'm confused. Who said get said what? Erika honest? Pff, Cherie, now you're reaching. Exactly. That to me is just absolutely crazy and ridiculous. Like, I don't know what Cherie's deal is. I don't know what is going on, maybe in her finances, maybe in her mind, but she dropped the ball because if she would have hitched her ride to Garcelle and Sutton, she would have been a fan favorite along with them. She would have been in the running maybe to get a diamond. But now that she hitched her ride to them, you really jumped on a sinking ship. That really just makes no sense to me why she would do that. But I think Cherie's time might be up. She's definitely not getting a diamond, allegedly. If she does come back, it's friend of. But now she's on the block of not even coming back, given that she's trending so poorly and Bravo is watching Bravo, even though they're making a lot of missteps, in my opinion, I think that they are starting to come around and be like, you need to actually listen to us and let us dictate, you know, because that's just the way the world works now. You know, post-lockdown, you know, social media world, media has to catch up to us because we're the one breaking the stories. We're the ones getting all the information, even before production, even before it's shown on TV. We're getting interviews, we're getting the tea. They need to catch up to us, and they need people on their, you know, producers and all of that stuff who actually have a pulse with what we're going with. You know what I'm saying? So let's see what you guys are saying in the chat box. Who's that cat said, I just want these three off the screen. They're too vicious. I agree. It's too dark. It's too dark. We need to get back to light. We need to get back to fun, a good kiki. Hey, Barbara, she's desperate for that diamond so much. Gia says, I agree with Mala Bagava. Lisa, Diana, Erika are involved in the attack of Garcelle's son. There's no doubt. Yeah. Like in my opinion, you know, again, got to cover myself, allegedly, but given everyone's reactions, everybody's responses, also, allegedly, Patrick Summers is saying that he was asked to be on the reunion. And that allegedly he's the first person who's a non-cast member, non-friend, non-family member asked to be at the reunion to bring his receipts. So if that is true, because I don't think Bravo has said that, I think Patrick has said it. So if that is true, it's going to be an explosive reunion, and then we can see if he has real receipts. I need some real receipts, Patrick. I don't need you to come on the show with some BS receipts or things that are not 100% verifiable. If you're going to get out here and say this stuff, Patrick, if you're going to say that you're coming to the reunion, you need to actually be on the reunion, and you need to bring real receipts that are irrefutable. That is really what we said. And Barbara says Andy Cohen said it wasn't true. But again, I feel like Andy might be on his way out too. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Darren Hood, we don't need a dark season. I agree. But if Andy can come out and say that it's not true he's going to be at the reunion, but he's been mum about everything else and tweeting from vacation. See, that's what I mean. Andy, you don't have the right pulse. You don't have the right pulse. Yeah, Barbara is saying Patrick was not invited to the reunion. Patrick, liar, liar, pants on fire. Liar, liar, pants on fire. But we'll see. Again, theoretically, both things can be true. And that's the problem when you have people who come out who lie and exaggerate. They dilute from what can be true. Both things can be true. It can be true that in some way, shape, or form, whether they talked about it, whether they bought the bots, whether they got someone to buy the bots, whatever, in some way, shape, or form, it can be true that it was Erika, Diana, and Lisa. It can also be true that Patrick is a clout chaser, and maybe he's exaggerating, and maybe he's lying, and maybe he's inserting himself. Like, both things can be true. Like, just because Patrick is a liar doesn't mean Rinna is telling the truth. And just because Rinna is a liar doesn't mean Patrick is telling the truth. That's why we need more evidence. We need something else to come out. We need a third party to co-sign this, because both things can be true. These women could be liars and they've done this to this poor child. And Patrick also could be a clout chaser looking for his 15 minutes of fame. You know, both things can be true. And I think the truth is probably somewhere in the middle of all of it. You know what I mean? Hey, who said Kate? He says, I want them held accountable for cyberbullying a minor, allegedly. Me too. Me too. I mean, maybe Bravo is doing their own investigation behind the scenes without telling us. But when that's concluded, they need to come out and they need to tell us. Like, we need to know what's going on. Hey, Steven, Rinna has ruined Real House of Beverly Hills for years with her overacting. Exactly. She has to go. She's a liability to the brand now, and like Ramona, she'll be gone. I agree 100%. She's been hard to watch for years. Years she's been hard to watch. Do I believe she would say those horrible things to a child? Yes. I mean, her children were on Instagram crying for therapy that she refused to pay for, allegedly, but the child said it. So, you know, hey, Gloria, think about it. After Garcelle got Erika and Diana together in the last episodes, all of a sudden there was an attack on Garcelle's son. Exactly. And also, when it comes to timing, I think the reason why they did it a cyberbullying and they wanted to get their narrative out with what they were saying to the bots, it happened a couple of days after that ranking came out. Remember that ranking that Bravo said that they used to see like which housewife is like trending on Twitter, you know, who does Twitter like, who does social media like. And when the ranking came out, of course, Garcelle was number one and Diana was dead last. She was like the least likable housewife ever. And then right above her was Rinna. And right after that social media ranking came out, all of a sudden these bots came talking about, well, how come Garcelle said this? How come, you know, Team Erika, Team Rinna, blah, 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 blah. I think they did it for two reasons. One, I think they wanted to act like they had fans, when sure, they have fans, but not like that. And two, I think it was personal. I think they wanted to take Garcelle down. I think that they were pissed at her because she's a fan favorite. They're pissed at her that she didn't fall in line. They're pissed at her that she puts them in the place. And I think they really wanted to sort of like bring Garcelle down a peg or two. And they didn't care that they were doing it to a child, because we all know how Erika treats children. We all know how Erika treats children. The dirty stuff she said about Denise's daughters. And then the dirty stuff she did to Garcelle's son. So we all know that. Hey, Barbara says, I believe Lisa would do it. Look how she treats her own daughters. Exactly. They were crying all over social media about her. Yep, 100%. Hey, who said Kate? Agreed. Look at what Brenda has said in the past about Yolanda and Kim. Exactly. Munchausen syndrome. Kim was near. Yolanda had Munchausen syndrome. Kim was near death. She alluded to the fact that Denise's girls were like into like they knew what threesomes were and all sexual and all this stuff. Erika and Rinna are both disgusting, absolutely disgusting. Hey, Barbara, yes, first day they were trying to get Garcelle to go against Sutton. Yep, they were trying to divide and conquer Sutton and Garcelle, and it did not work. It did not work, and now they're grasping at straws and going nuts and going absolute crazy. Oof, you guys. All right, well, that was our Real Housewives of Beverly Hills latest tea updates of everything that went down this weekend. I think it's going to be really telling what happens this episode of this week. So we will be here, we'll be recapping the episodes. Any other tea that comes up, we'll be doing it. So be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss it when we go live. I will be doing Married to Medicine later, maybe some Hot Topics, and Bell Collective, Real Housewives of Dubai reunion. So that's right, you guys. Become the Candy Cane. There are so many ways to support. You could do a super thanks, a super chat, and everything else in the world. But really, just sharing this would be amazing. So thank you, guys. I love you. Until next time, my beautiful Candy Canes. Take care of yourself and each other. Bye.
Welcome to Sugar Pills, a practical guide to self-care, where your host, writer, actor and producer Candy Washington helps you live a more joyful life with a cheeky dash of pop culture news. Be sure to subscribe, leave a 5-star review and join the conversation on Instagram @Candy Washington. Let's go!